Good evening. It's 10 on July the 11th, 2023. This is hopefully just a test video of a long thought of desire to record my thoughts and beliefs and my messages of love towards Eden and Malcolm, um, primarily, but for anyone else who sees what I share here as beneficial, then may it reach you um, with good fruit um, to produce from. Um, yeah, I've just thought, I mean, at the moment, Malcolm and Eden are 8 and 7, and they will be going up another year in 3 months' time. And life has been busy. And living in Auckland, New Zealand, it's been very busy. I've been here pretty much since 1996. I finished high school in 1999 at Onehunga High School, and during my brief childhood here, I thought Auckland would be a great place to bring up a family. Um, I just imagine a great future here because my childhood was pretty had many memorable moments. Um, but yeah, 2023, 24 years later, um, it's like to have the things you love, you've got to fight tooth and nail. And New Zealand wasn't really like this. I remember coming here as a kid. Well, I came here as a baby, lived out in East Auckland, Bucklands Beach. Um, those are the days where I think one parent stayed home and the other went to work. And while my mother was home, um, it was really fun. Maybe mom might not have liked to stay home so much, considering she had just been working as a secretary to the bank manager in the Bank of Samoa. Um, I don't know how many years, but like it was good. There's a few good friends that we made, Lamanga and Tofi, and others. Had some family up there, and just nice, good flat. Lots of sun. I remember. I learned how to kick a ball at Lord Ellesmere Park. Um, it's just a good life. Real. I mean, the bakeries were delicious. Georgie pie. Then I moved to Wellington, and then at the age of 7, I moved to Hong Kong, and it's actually the most densely populated place in the world. But yeah, I kind of feel like Auckland in 2023 has becoming quite stressful, and it wasn't like it was back in the 80s. In fact, um, recently I've been talking to many people who have left Auckland, um, who have just retired, and they tell me that probably the golden time of Auckland was back in the 80s and 70s. So, yeah, it's been a hard grind, and the cost of living is just off the charts. So, the purpose of this video, now heading about 5 minutes, um, while you're living life and doing whatever, stuck in traffic, ordering food, going to work, working, not really loving what you're doing, essentially, um, like I just have thoughts for the things that I love, and I did begin a journal. I've journaled a little bit here and there, growing up. I can't remember exactly. It might have been just learning about the forefathers of America, or just reading the journals of people pre-current technology, like I don't know, 1700s, 1800s, just a lot of the forefathers of what we have today, and what we learned from them in the classroom was from what they put down as their personal journal, and I just found it really enriching, reading about how they thought, because that helped me understand how they contributed to the world in such a big way, because they were open and honest, and it was just beautiful, reading the journals of these historical figures, and journaling also growing up. Coming back to New Zealand in '96, I was 16. My dad left not long after, and I didn't journal in high before that, but I did some form of writing, and that was basically writing letters to mostly girls in high school, because that's what we were into. I knew how to origami fold a letter, and then I would just give it to them in person or slip it into their bag, and they get a surprise, and then write a letter back saying, "Oh, I got a lovely surprise when I got home and opened up my bag or science book." And yeah, I think maybe that's where I began to be, where I started my poetic roots. And shout out to Boyz II Men for their love songs being released during my teenage years. And they were a popular resource, in my affection for females. Um, Anyhow, so yeah, I wrote a lot then. And then when my dad left, I came back to New Zealand from Hong Kong and um, found a lot of pain. Uh, had a pretty, like, we're really wealthy, really blessed, had lots of things to do, lived in such a great place. And then after 10 years in Hong Kong, we're only supposed to be here for a 2 week holiday, from my understanding. And then we had all our stuff in storage in Hong Kong. My dad just had been let go, I understand, from a company called Eagle Star. And I think it was maybe with the trend in '96 of hopefully hiring cheaper staff when Hong Kong would be handed over to China in '97. So a lot of the mainland workers would come, and then it was a form of cost cutting, from what I understand. A lot of expats were let go, and my father was felt hard done by, and came back here. And my dad kind of just disappeared not long after. I was the oldest of four, still am. And we kind of went from having so much to having just a suitcase each. And it was more the pain of losing my dad. It wasn't the pain of being in a strange world. Going from, in my schooling, going from Beverly Hills 90210 to Dangerous Minds overnight. Um, it wasn't the 4 shifts a week I would work at a fast food place to pay for the appliances and the car for my family. It wasn't the pain of me being different in terms of I sound different. I don't look like I'm either Polynesian or New Zealand European. I look like I'm Middle Eastern with an American accent that was born in Samoa, that lived in Hong Kong and spoke Chinese, and I didn't know any martial arts, for all those that asked. That wasn't that pain. And I'd already gone through 10 years of being different in Hong Kong because I was the only Samoan. I came from a small country. My school was wrapped around an American identity and not around a New Zealand one, which I wasn't really in touch with much other than rugby. It wasn't the pain of not being either Chinese or American for 10 years and then coming and finding I'm back home, but I'm not Samoan or New Zealand European. I'm in between. It wasn't that pain. And it wasn't the pain of, that was pretty painful, of like only having bread and crackers and spreads to eat for a few days at a time. That was our meal. Just spreads and crackers and bread. If we didn't have bread, we'd use crackers with margarine and whatever honey or jam. It was just spreads and bread or crackers for a few days at a time. Sometimes. I mean, we're all over the place, but I definitely remember the moments where my nutritional happiness came from having different combos of peanut butter and honey on toast, um, honey and margarine on toast, like Marmite, whatever. Yeah, that was quite a thing. Um, the biggest pain of my life at the time was no longer having a father, and journaling I found helped me a lot. And it might be somewhere else in this house. Some of those writings from like more than 25 years ago. But yeah, it was just really helpful to write things down, and I think It helped me deal with things. That it was the only thing, but journaling really helped me establish my thoughts and ponder a plan. So here I am, wanting to share my beliefs about life, um, and also be a message of love for my loved ones whom they could listen to after my passing. So, Eden and Malcolm, you're 8 and 7, and I spend like an hour one way going to work, throwing guaranteed bumper to bumper traffic somewhere in each journey. I'm kind of tired after dinner to play games, but eating food, doing washing, brushing teeth, getting ready for bed, keeping a tidy house, all those things are necessary, but my ultimate love is to love you by being with you, hugging, playing, just being with you. Like, I don't know if you remember, but during the first lockdown, we got to hang out a lot. And that's when we learned that YouTube was not good for you. Um, but I remember uh, I remember sharing that that was the best time of my life, my family life. And from that, Renee and I budgeted that I could quit my job and our bills would be met. We wouldn't have as much money to spend, but I'd be able to help both of you start school. Um, and you both started really well. And I've got a picture of a first day. I was crying. Uh, Someone else was crying. I don't know who was, but there were tears on both sides. Um, and Eden, wearing her Elsa dress, hugged you with her school bag on. Malcolm, for you to go into room one with Fire Helen um, in March, which was actually 1 week before our first lockdown. But then after the lockdown finished, we went back to school and yeah, it just helped you and Eden get back into it really. And yeah, if I could do anything, okay, if I could, tomorrow I'd wake up, I'm supposed to go to work, but if someone gave me a choice to do whatever I wanted that day, other than resting from caring for you, my number one choice to spend my day would be to hang out with you guys. And so that's when all the necessary things are done, when it comes to the weekend, or it's not too cold in the evening during the week, I just want to take you guys out. We just go hang, go do anything. We go out a lot. And I just love spending time with you guys. We have some great family moments. And even at dinner tonight, I was just thinking, man, this is lovely. And is this where life is so good? And yeah, just eating dinner. It wasn't the greatest dinner. Nothing was so great, but just being with you was so great. And we had a lovely, lovely time tonight. And just the way life is, and any family would be like this. Um, like when I was growing up, I know my dad had to go to work, but now mom and dad have to go to work. And so you're taken care of by skids or anyone who can outside school hours. So, yeah, thanks to Halo and Brad and the others at Waterley Skids. So appreciative for your care. Like, that's the number one thing is that you guys are lovely people, and as a result, becomes a fun place. And really blessed to have Brad as a good drawer, former New Zealand Herald cartoonist, um, to be drawing alongside Malcolm as a form of hanging out together during after school care. So I might finish this video. It's 10:30 now, and I'm getting sore shoulders. And this is kind of a test video. And I've got a lot to say. I feel like, I mean, we're in the time of podcast living. Um, Joe Rogan's 3 hours normally. Jordan Peterson's interview with him was 4 hours. I mean, I could go on, and I feel like I could do more and say more. And sometimes I just feel like journaling my thoughts and just wonder what, and just thought, man, if this is beneficial for someone, I mean, it has to be because some people think like me, and some people want to learn about the things that I believe. Not that they have to believe them, but people want to learn. So, this I guess is another form of socializing, having the internet in your time to listen to messages where you can't really be face to face every night at 10:30 with someone. You just do it online. So everyone shares and receives messages in their own time. But I guess the internet should be helpful with that and keep things in context, obviously. So yeah, this is a really grainy video. This is off a maybe 2014 laptop. Yeah, maybe 2014. Um, but yeah, how do I get good camera quality? It might have to be just a simple phone rather than spending 5 grand on a podcast setup or more. Having a good background other than my cold curtains and a nice um, lamp from uh, from Joel's apartment in Ponsonby, because Abraham hasn't moved on to another place yet, so he hasn't needed this lamp yet. So anyway, for those that are listening, um, yeah, I hope this is fruitful for you, and I pray that you find love and you find depth and you find desire and you find stimulation and you find resource, and not just solely for you, but something that um, can automatically be shared with others as you indulge into those things. So yeah, at the moment I'm 43. Apparently, 43 is the time where you'll be earning the highest wage in your life, and thankfully, it's true so far. But we don't all live according to each other to meet a standard. We all live authentically, and a standard comes out as a result. All right, that is enough from Grainy Me in Margaret Bridge, Auckland, New Zealand, July the 11th, 2023 at 10:35 p.m. To the people I love, to the people who need love, to the people who want love, love to you now.